What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. This is King Javo, and I'm back again with another video. And I just had to do this one. I just had to do it because there is news, some brand new information that just came out from Immaculate Vision Gaming, the guys who are trying to make a college football game. And they have been in the news for quite some time, or at least in the social media news for quite some time. I think at least for the last year or so, basically talking about and sharing their story when it comes to making a football game and filling in the void that we got left with in the college football arena when EA Sports left the college football game, and due to all the legal battles and the lawsuits that they were incurring from the NCAA for player likeness and also players that that were suing as well. So they EA abandoned it, right? And they did it for legal reasons. So obviously the profit and the revenue was not worth the legal expenses that were being incurred. So with that said, I wanted to do a video in response to the news, the breaking news that we received yesterday on April 23rd. Today, this recording is the 24th, and I want to just share my thoughts on this as one of the as somebody in the community, right, in the sim community, who wants a better experience, who wants a better game, who is sick and tired of the mediocrity that we have with a game like Madden and EA Sports in general. Their sports series, to me, have been lackluster for over a decade plus now. So I'm a 2K fan, but I'm also a fan of sim sports. So there are other sports games like the golf club that I actually enjoy. It's not super sim, but it's closer to simulation. There are other ones out there for golf. I enjoy F1 racing. It's more of a simulation type of sports racing game. Obviously the NBA 2K, MLB The Show. Those are the games that I enjoy. I enjoy realistic games that are challenging, games that make you hone in on your skills and train and practice so that the people with the best strategy and skills and stick skills are going to succeed in the game and are going to see the benefits and the rewards from those skills and have a fair game that mimics real life football as much as possible. Now, I follow indie developers out there make games, and I'm someone that's also doing that as well. So it's an area that I'm very, very closely intimate with. And the game that I'm making is a football game, but because of resources and realistic timelines and skill sets, I'm working on a 2D game. So my game is not going to be the ultimate EA Madden killer, but it is going to be something that I am going to take pride in and try to do a great job on, and hopefully it plays closer to the style that I particularly enjoy. So let's get to this video here. So what I want to talk about here. So the Immaculate Vision Gaming Company put out some news yesterday, and it was kind of crazy to me because everybody and their mother was doing a video, or there were articles on the web about a brand new college game coming out, and it was amazing to me that we had that much coverage for a game that hasn't even written a line of code yet. I mean, that is something that is astonishing to me. And before I get started, I am of the opinion that I want a game, right? I want a game at any expense, but I want a quality game, and I want a game that is going to be worthwhile. So I hope that this game, I'm going to start by saying this, I hope that this game is the 2K killer, is the backbreaker, plus the 2K, plus Madden, or whatever else you want from back in the day that was good, plus the NFL Fever game and, Game Day, all those games put together in one. I hope this does it all. I really, really do. And that's my honest just like anybody else, even more so than anybody else in some cases. So I am right there. I'm in their corner. I want them to succeed, but I also have a lot of experience, and I also have concerns and reservations with what I've seen so far. So let me just tell you what I mean by that. So these guys, from what I understand, don't really have any development background. They have not written one line of code from what I understand, and which is fine, you know, that they don't have to do that. But I don't think that they've even built anything software related in their lives. And I know that they're younger guys, and I don't know how much experience they have, but they obviously got the idea to create a college football game, and have really done a remarkable job finding and attracting investors, whether it be an end consumer who has funded them through a pre-release purchase of their game, or an athlete, a professional athlete that may have contributed to the cause. But they've gone very far and wide to attract money, and that's a skill. I mean, that's a great skill, and I definitely take my hat off to those guys and applaud them for being able to bring in any money that they bring in. So that's great. And that's something that hasn't really been done from an indie game studio that I've seen that's trying to make a sports game in a while. Now, the Canadian football game that was created, that one had some funding as well. I don't know the exact number. I'll post it here, but there was funding that was included, and I know they had some outside funds. Plus, they had some internal money that was added. But the point is that you look at their product, and it's not the Madden killer. It's not the best football game ever. There's a reason why. Making a football game that has so many instances and circumstances and just a complex level of variables that are interacting with one another and taking on physics and putting some kind of control element to it. There's so many interactions, and they call it it's just something chaos. They call it like chaos. It's a chaotic situation that you're building, and you're trying to make it look and feel and act like the real thing. You know, when you compare football, which is a contact sport, with a sport like baseball, a baseball game is far easier or a golf game for that matter, or even a basketball game or a hockey game. Those are a lot easier to deal with because you don't have that crazy amount of chaos happening on the field where we have all of these interactions that can play out. So the fact that they're taking on a football game, and a football game that is going to be priced at $59.99, which is your AAA standard price, is in my opinion, a very arrogant, confident, gregarious type of feat that they're taking on for their first game. And mind you, there's no development company that's even involved. This isn't about knocking the game, like I mentioned. This is about just stating the facts and what we have to look forward to. And with all of the press that's been happening, I think people need to just take a step back and think about what they're really seeing and getting here, because I don't want to see another Joe Montana football happening with these guys. And I'm going to go through some of the things that I mean by that. So as you can see in here, one of the things that they talk about is the fact that the money is coming from a top tier investor core. Well, I'm not sure who those people are, but it would be nice to know who the investors are. And they also mention an IPO strategy that they plan to roll out in the future. And an IPO is basically it's a public offering, right? So when you're company, the first time that you go public, you do something called an IPO, which the exact term is an initial public offering. Okay. It's what it stands for. And it's the very first sale of a stock issued by a company to the public, right? And prior to the IPO, the company is considered private and, with a relatively small number of shareholders made up primarily by these early investors that they talk about, such as the founders and venture capitalists, et cetera. But the public has an opportunity to buy shares in the company, and they're willing to, they have an opportunity to invest in the company. And this is what the IPO is, right? So it's also referred to what they say when they say going public. Okay. Now there are financial benefits by them having an IPO. It's a way to raise a great deal of money. And they talk about in this press conference or this press release here that they're projected to exceed $10 million. So that's a projected amount. We don't really know, unless I'm wrong, I don't really know what they currently have in terms of funding, and no one really knows, I don't think. And if I'm wrong, maybe somebody can comment here or make their own video. We don't really know exactly how much money they've accumulated up to this point. But they talk about $10 million, and I think that also includes this IPO strategy that they're going after. Okay. But the IPO is something that is, and that's the thing. You do an IPO when you have something to offer. And as of this point, there's no game yet. There's nothing there yet as far as what we've seen. Right. So that's what concerns me. Okay. On top of that, there is no developer for this game yet. So because those guys haven't written a line of code yet, and they're not developers, and they clearly state in their press conference that they're searching for a development company, that means that there's not one line of code written for this game yet. Okay. And the part that really concerns me is the press release title. It says that they're planning to launch this AAA game in 2020. Not only that, but they're also even making word that they're going to potentially create a basketball game. So as far as I'm concerned, and this is to help these guys, this isn't to bash them. This isn't to have, I work for EA. Believe me, if you guys follow me, go check out my videos. I'm not part of EA. And even if I was, which I wouldn't, but if I was, it would be to make the game better and to produce a simulation game. And if as soon as I sniffed that wasn't going to happen, which it wouldn't happen, so I probably wouldn't have made it anyways. But the point is that I am the first person in line to give these people money. I'm the first person in line, but the money has to be warranted based off of factual, professional, forecasted variables. Not just the fact that you were able to raise some money. It has to be more concrete, and there has to be more substance behind that. For me, as somebody who I feel has some experience and education behind them, I'm not going to put my money into something that I don't think is warranted to receive that money. And as of right now, I don't think that the money, and like I said, I applaud them for that. They should become money investment funding gurus, or whatever the technical term is. But all we've seen so far is just pictures and promises. And we already saw more than that with Joe Montana Football. Joe Montana Football had a trailer, and they had a lot of funding, more than I could disclose. The amount I can't disclose, but it was a lot. So let me just put it that way. It was a lot of money. And look what turned out with Joe Montana. So and they had developers that had experience. So you can see that this is not an easy, like slam dunk layup type of thing. And the fact that they're quoting a year is a mistake. You do not dare quote a year without knowing exactly what you're doing and having the experience and having the development team and the scope and the requirements and the tech skills and the contractors and the testing team and the QA team and all the different areas that you need to have. You can't dare quote a date unless you're quoting 10 years from now because you know you'll beat that date. So that is very, 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 very alarming to me. I do not understand how they could even quote a date. So I'm going to end with this. I think that these guys who are part of this Immaculate Vision gaming company have done a great job, not a good job, a great job of attracting traffic, attracting viewers, attracting people. I will also say that they also are capitalizing on a genre like the NCAA football that has been left dead in its tracks by EA. So they are trying to, which is fine, it's a very savvy thing. They are taking advantage of that void in the market, and they have an instant viewership and loyalty group because now they're the ones that are picking up that void and that slack and bridging that gap that EA had left behind. So with that strategic move and timing of it, alongside their press and their social media work, they've attracted money. But I will say that they need to be careful. And if you're listening to this, guys, you guys need to be careful with what you're doing. I see so many things on here that are question marks, and you've gotten money, you've done some good things there, but please, if you want to provide a quality experience for your supporters, you need to just take a step back before you announce certain things. And expectations need to be super, super, super low from your community. I mean, super low. I'm talking access football, Canadian football level low. And that's because those are realistic milestones. Access football has been in the works for years, not 2 years. I'm talking multiple years. Okay. Yes, it's a smaller group. Yes, there's less funding, but you're talking years, and look what they've put out. And it's getting better. Or 2K beater. It's just not even Backbreaker. Okay. Backbreaker took many, many years to come out, and look what we got. We had a demo at best. So just be careful, guys, who watch and keep up with this news. If you want to support anyone out there in the community who's trying to make a game, I'm right there with you. Go for it. Support them. But just don't be, this video is about expectations, and just don't have expectations that are unreasonable, because you are going to be disappointed in the end because of all of the things that are, our reality. And I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong, but I just had to give my feedback, guys. It's been a while since I did a video. So thanks for watching. Leave your comments, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.